Hey there, welcome to Violet's DIY Style. I'm Violet. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to click on that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. So today I'm excited to share with you how I made this huge 3-foot fall wreath using some corn husks. So what I did first was went to Dollar Tree and got one of the large wire framed wreath frames, and I just went ahead and got some pliers and cut the two center ones out. So basically I just wanted the two last or the larger rings from this wreath, and go ahead and just save those two for another project. Then I grabbed my corn husks. Now this corn husk that I got luckily was nice and soft, but if they're not, you can easily soak them and then let them dry just slightly, and then you can start using your project. That way they won't break, because some of them you will see that they are too dry and they will break. But normally they're nice and firm but won't break on you. And just go ahead and grab your leaf and add some hot glue and wrap it around the first ring of your frame. So just continue adding your corn husks and then just adding glue around the metal part of the frame, and then just folding that part over the tip of your corn husks. And then just continue doing that to each one of them until you wrap around the entire metal frame of with your corn husks. And you're going to do the same process with the second ring as well. So what I did was kind of just overlap some of these corn husk leaves in order for them to stay in place and glue them together. Now these leaves are pretty durable. As long as they're not too dry, they're pretty durable. So you can move them around and play with them until you get them right where you want them before you actually add the glue. When I started making this project, I really didn't think it was going to be this large of a project or a wreath. I thought it would be, maybe a foot long or something like that. But once I started adding all the leaves to it, it just got larger and larger, and I love it. Like I said, it's one of these huge statement pieces that all you have to do is add this to one wall, and that's it. That's all you have to add to that one particular wall, and it's going to look just like fall. So I really did like it. Now, I don't know if I would wear or hang this outside, because it is the corn husk, and I know that once you do wet these, they are just going to get really flimsy, and I think they'll just kind of soak down. So I would recommend, if you're going to use this outdoors, to make sure you do have like a cover or in a patio of some sort with a cover or shader, because if it does get wet, basically the corn husk leaves are just going to come sliding down. So it's either going to be indoors or covered if you're going to use it outdoors. And if you do use it outdoors, let me know if you do have problems with the humidity or anything like that. But I do know that with water, it's just going to be a no. But just go ahead and start adding the second row of corn husks the same way you did the first one. Just kind of what you're going to do is make them slightly smaller in order for you to see the first row that you placed on your wreath. And you don't have to worry about cutting the leaf, just fold it over. But if you don't feel comfortable and just folding it over like I am, then of course, yes, cut the leaf to make it smaller. So when you do fold it, you won't have that big fold over. But since I'm going to add a third and final row of these corn husks, I wasn't worried about folding them over like I did. Now this project moved along really fast once I got the hang of it and how I was going to glue it on. it just went so fast. It wasn't something that, you know, takes all day, but it looks like you took a long time to make. So just go ahead and continue folding them over. Again, just kind of pick and choose your corn husk leaves just to make sure they're not too dry. So once you're done, this is the way it looks. Now, of course, you can leave it as is, but I went ahead and just cut my corn husk a little bit smaller, and then went ahead and added some glue to it, and then put it in between my second row. And I didn't fold this one over. I just glued it right on top. So I made sure that the ends were pointed and they were all going to be nice and even. So just go ahead and continue gluing on your pieces of corn husk just to cover that fold over and to give it that third and final row. So this is the way it looks with your third and final row. Now I wanted to keep it more simple and not add too much onto my wreath because I wanted to make it a statement piece with the corn husk. So what I did was I had some of these corns from Dollar Tree and I thought it was going to be perfect for this wreath. So I only had a package of one, which has two in it. So I just glued them side by side to what's going to be the top of my wreath. Now, of course, you can decorate this way any way you want. If I had more corn of these from Dollar Tree, I probably would have added some more. But once I was all done with the wreath, I just love the simplicity of it. And since it's huge, I don't know, it just made it a statement piece to me that way. So what I did was add the two corns, as you can see, allowed them to dry. Then I just grabbed some nautical rope and started gluing it all around the edge of my wreath. And that's just to make it more clean and just to give it more of different colors and tones of that natural look. So I just went ahead and just hot glued it all the way around. And don't worry if some of the corn husk is coming out from the opposite side of the nautical rope, because all you're going to have to do is just grab your scissors and cut and trim all that off. So just continue wrapping it all the way around your center wreath. And then just cut any excess and make sure it matches up. And that's it. You can leave it as is. Again, you can do as much or as little as you like to any of your decorations. Like I've said it before, that's one of the best things, or one of my favorite parts of doing my own DIYs and my own home decor. I make it to my style and the way I want it to look. So of course you can do the same thing with yours. So once I was done, there you go. Just go ahead and grab some scissors and just trim off any of those little excess edges. So I just grabbed a few fall stems and a sunflower that I had from Dollar Tree as well. And I just kind of tried to straighten it out as much as I could. I was being too lazy and didn't get my hair straightener out, because typically on these flowers, I do use a hair straightener to make those flowers look nice and firm and straight. But I was just being lazy and didn't grab it, honestly. So all I did was just trim off the parts that I was going to use from this fall stem, and then just kind of figure out where I wanted to place everything. And then I just moved everything away and started hot gluing it onto my wreath as well. But a big trick, and something that I always typically do, is grab my hair straightener. I have one just for my arts and crafts, and I straighten all the flower stems or petals for each one of them. That way they can just look more put together and open. But I thought this was more farmhouse, so I was perfectly fine with it being just as is. So I'm just cutting off the back of the stem and adding some hot glue and then attaching my flower to my wreath. Then I just wanted to go ahead and add a little bit of greenery on either side. So again, just added some hot glue and put that insert right in between the flower and the corn, just to give it some more greenery. And then once I was done with this, I thought, you know, it just needed a little bit extra for me. So what I did was just kind of pull apart my raffia just to make it look more like it had more raffia at the bottom. And this is just from the corn itself. And then I went ahead and had a raffia braid that I already had braided together, as you can see, and I just had it, you know, glued on the either end. So what I'm going to do is just wrap it around right where my nautical rope is at as well, just to give it that extra touch. But again, this is completely optional. You decorate yours as you wish. And all I did was to attach my raffia braid was just my hot glue gun as well. So just trim off any extra pieces that you don't need from your braid, and there you have it. And when I measured this, it was huge. So like I said, it was just one of those big wreaths that, you know, is going to make one huge statement. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. So what I did to hang it was I just added some more nautical rope at the end or at the back of my wreath. Just kind of figured out where the center was at and how long of a piece of rope I needed, and just added it to the back of my wreath. And this is a very light wreath, so I didn't worry about, you know, adding any permanent glue. Just my hot glue was perfectly fine. And this is how huge it was. So I hope you enjoyed, again, this tutorial. And if you did, give me a big thumbs up. Until next time, you guys stay blessed. Bye.